Hello and welcome students. Now in today's class, we will be studying about the other expenses which are related to the partners. So what are these? These expenses are basically the salary allowed to the partner, the commission allowed to the partner. So these are the two expenses which we will be studying in today's class. So first take up the salary. Salary is basically the amount paid to the partners for the work he has done in the partnership business. This is also known as the remuneration. So salary and remuneration are one and the same thing. Now, the question arises, why are we studying salary? It is so easy. Obviously, a partner will get a monthly salary. No, there are three types of salaries. The first is the partner can get a monthly salary. The partner can also get a quarterly salary. And the question may also specify that the salary has been given for full year. That is salary per annum. So the question is, if at all they have given per month, so the salary per month will be multiplied by 12 because we have to calculate the salary for the full year. We make the profit and loss appropriation account for the full year. And the commission also has to be calculated for the full year itself. So if the salary is given per month multiplied by 12, if the salaries has been given per quarter, that is quarterly basis, then it should be multiplied by 4 because there are 4 quarters in a year. If at all the salary has been given for per annum, so it won't be multiplied by any of the figures. It will be the salary for the full year. So this is how we calculate the salary. But just remember one thing, that the salary has to be taken care with the respect of the date of commencement of business, which simply means just look for the date of starting of business if it's a new business, if it's a new partnership business, because the salary may affect with that thing. Suppose the business got started from 1st July. Now obviously, if the business is getting started from 1st July, so the salary shall be calculated for only 9 months. And for per quarter, it shall be multiplied by 3. And if the salary has been given to you on a per annum basis, that means that salary is for 12 months. So it shall be divided by 12 multiplied by 9. So as to get the salary, exact salary for that particular partner. So this was the calculation of salary. Now, next come to the commission. Commission can be ascertained in 2 to 3 ways. The first one is to normally find the commission. The question may specify to find out the commission on the net profit. If in the question there is a net profit, just multiply it with the rate upon 100, you will get the commission, normal commission. But if the question is saying that the commission is to be allowed on the turnover or else the sales, then a percentage shall be applied on that particular turnover or the sales in order to get the commission. Now, the next can be the commission allowed to a partner after charging such commission. Exactly. So what is the formula for the same? The formula to calculate the commission, where it has written that the commission is allowed to a partner after charging such commission, the formula for this becomes net profit multiplied by rate upon 100 plus rate. That simply means if a partner is to get a commission of 5% after charging such commission, the formula will be net profit multiplied by 5 upon 105. Or else, if a partner is to get 10% commission after charging such commission, then the formula shall be net profit multiplied by 10 upon 110. Okay? Apart from that, if at all the partner is to get 20% commission of the net profit after charging such commission, so it will be net profit multiplied by 20 upon 120. So these were the examples for the commission. Now, there can be one more thing in order to calculate the commission. That is, the question may specify that the commission will be 10% of the net profit after charging all salaries. Now, what does that mean? This simply means that from the net profit, first of all the amount of salaries which has been paid till date shall be deducted, and from the amount ascertained after deduction of all the salaries, the amount which comes has to be multiplied with the percentage upon the 100 in order to calculate the commission. Okay, so it can be after charging salaries, after charging interest on capital, it can be anything. But just remember, if it is written after salaries or after interest on capital, you need not multiply it with rate upon 100 plus rate. It shall be the normal calculation, that is rate upon 100 only. So rate upon 100 plus rate is applicable only and only when the commission is to be given where it has specified that the commission shall be paid to the partner after charging such commission. Okay, so this was the scenario. The other language for this is, for example, suppose C is to get the commission. The other language can be commission to C 10% of net profit after charging C's commission. Okay, so this also means that after charging his own commission. There can be so many languages. Just understand and then only solve the question. Now, one more thing which I have to say is, whenever you have to calculate the commission, just check if in the question there are 4 items which are to be deducted from the net profit. If at all there are manager's commission, or else rent to a partner, or else interest on loan to a partner, or else interest on loan from a partner, these all adjustments have to be done. After that only the corrected net profit will appear, and on that only you will have to apply the percentage in order to calculate the commission to the partners. Is that okay? So this was the simple scenario of giving out the salaries and commission, the calculation for salaries and commission to a partner. If this is very much understandable, now let's come on to the next topic, that is general reserve. Now sometimes the partners decide to transfer some of the amount to the general reserve. So for that also there can be different scenarios. The first one is the basic point, that is the question will specify that a general reserve has to be made, that is the amount has to be transferred to general reserve 10% of the net profit. So again, the corrected net profit shall be taken into consideration. So it will be the net profit multiplied by rate upon 100 shall give you the amount of general reserve, which you will write in your profit and loss appropriation account on the debit side, as it is reducing your profit. Clear? So this was the general reserve. Apart from that, there can be a different language, that is amount to be transferred to general reserve shall be 10% of the divisible profit. Exactly. Now, what is the meaning of divisible profit? Divisible profit is the end profit which has to be distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. Exactly. How do we calculate that? So, in order to calculate the divisible profit, first of all, you will have to add all the items present on the income side, like the net profit plus the interest on drawings. You will get the total amount, and from that total amount, just deduct all the expenses, that is interest on capital, salary, commission. Then only you will get the divisible profit. On that amount, just apply the percentage and you will get the amount which has to be transferred to the general reserve. Okay. Now, after this, from your divisible profit, you just calculate it. Deduct the amount transferred to general reserve in order to get the correct divisible profit, which now has to be distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. So this was the scenario for your general reserve. Next, the questions sometimes also specify that transfer some amount to the workman compensation reserve. Now the calculation is the just same, that is, as we did for general reserve, we will do it for the workman compensation reserve or else any other reserve as well. Okay. Now, if this is clear, so we have completed so far the salary calculation, the commission calculation. Now let's come on to the next one, that is interest on capital. So interest on capital's calculation is very much easy. Obviously, the amount invested in the business by the partners is known as the capital, on which the partners will get the commission. Okay. So if at all, suppose, let's take an example. If a partner has introduced 5 lakhs as his capital and the rate of interest is 10%, so he will directly get 50,000. 5 lakhs, 10% of 5 lakhs will give you 50,000, and he shall be paid 50,000 for his interest on capital. So this was the scenario of interest on capital. But again, one more thing which has to be kept in mind is the date of the starting of partnership business. Suppose the partnership business started on 1st July. Now then what will happen? Obviously, the interest then shall be calculated for 9 months only. For the months the capital was there in the business. Is that okay? So this was the scenario of your interest on capital. Now, as we have come to the end, just remember one thing, that these are all the appropriations of the net profit. That simply means that all these expenses will be paid to the partners only and only if there is a sufficient net profit. Yes, just remember one thing, there can be 2 things. The salaries, commission, interest on capital can be treated as an appropriation of profit. It can also be treated as a charge against profit. If at all, these all expenses are treated as an appropriation of profit, or else if the question has not specified anything, that is it a charge or is it an appropriation, it always means that these all expenses are a part of appropriation only. Now, this shall be written in the profit and loss appropriation account only. But if the question has specified that these expenses are charged against profit, then we will have to write all these expenses not in the profit and loss appropriation account, but in the profit and loss account. So charge means whether we have earned the profit or not, whether the firm has that profit or not, then also these expenses will be paid to the partners. Just remember this thing. Okay. Now, if at all there is no net profit, then these expenses shall not be given if the company is following, if the firm is following the appropriation basis. So at the end, I will like to just say that if at all these expenses are to be considered as a charge against profit, these will be mentioned, these will be recorded in the profit and loss account, and it shall be paid even if the company has suffered a loss. Okay. Now, if at all the company has treated this as an appropriation, then only it will appear in your profit and loss appropriation account. And if there is no sufficient net profit, then these expenses will not be paid. Clear? So in this system, there is one more important point. Suppose in the question there is only the mention of the interest on capital now, and there is a sufficient net profit, that is the net profit is more than the interest on capital, then there is no worries. But if at all happens like the net profit is less than the interest on capital which has to be given to the partner, then the net profit amount, the less amount of net profit, shall be distributed among the partners with the name of interest on capital in their capital ratio. Exactly. Let's take an example. If there is, suppose there are two partners who have invested 3 lakhs and 1,50,000. 3 lakhs and 1,50,000. Okay. So what is the scenario? Obviously, they will get the interest on capital. So suppose the rate of interest is 10%. So what is the amount of interest that has to be paid? It is 30,000 and 15,000. 10% of 3 lakhs and 1,50,000. So in total, the amount to be paid to the partners is rupees 45,000, and the profit sharing ratio among them is 3:2. Okay, this is the scenario, and the question has specified that the firm has earned a net profit of only 30,000. Now, tell me what shall be done now, because the interest on capital that has to be paid to the partners is rupees 45,000, but there is only 30,000 available with the firm. So if this is the case, and if nothing has been mentioned about it is a charge against profit or an appropriation of profit, it is to be assumed that this is an appropriation of profit only. So in this scenario, the amount of net profit, that is 30,000, shall be paid to the partners with the name interest on capital in their capital ratio. Exactly. Just remember this. This is the very much important point. So they will get this amount of profit in their capital ratio, that is 3 lakhs is to 1,50,000. You will get 2:1. So the partners will get 20,000 and 10,000 from this profit as their interest on capital. They had to receive 30,000 and 15,000, but they will only get 20 and 10,000. Okay, so this was the scenario with the case of interest on capital. Now let's come on to the next thing. If at all in the question there are salaries also, commission also, interest on capital also, and the firm doesn't have sufficient net profit, then what shall happen? Then you will have to calculate the total amount of the expenses, the amount of total which A has to get, which B has to get, and which C has to get. For example, there are 3 partners which are allowed salaries, commissions, and interest on capital. If this is the scenario, then we will have to calculate the amount which has to be paid in total to A, and the amount which has to be paid in total to B, and the amount in total to be paid to C. Okay. Now, the net profit, if the net profit is low, if the net profit is not sufficient, then this net profit shall be given to the partners in this ratio only. The amount you just calculated for A, B, and C, just calculate the ratio with that amounts only. Then you will get the ratio and distribute that net profit in this ratio only, if at all the net profit is not sufficient. Okay, so these were the important things which has to be taken care in this chapter. I hope you have enjoyed and you have learned something valuable. Thank you so much.